ACS team. And also a very, very important guest has joined us today. She's a very, very known lady, and she's going to tell us more about herself and where she's from. But without waiting for so long, I'll also apologize. We had some technical issues. That's why we got on a little bit late. But we thank God that we are here today and we are here to present this to you. My name is Sally Nyinza. I am also a nurse by profession. I have relocated from Kenya to the UK. This was way back in 2003. So I have a nurse that's going to help us talk more about this, our journeys as nurses. So without further ado, I'm going to ask the ACS team to introduce themselves, and I'll start with Ruth to tell us who she is, what she does in ACS, and more about ACS. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sally. My name is Ruth Nyambura Wanjiko, the Operations Manager, ACS Kenya. My roles at ACS is overseeing day-to-day operations, follow up with prospective customers that show interest in any of our platforms, that is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any of the platforms that you follow us in. Also contacting our clients every week to address any issue that they may be having. Those are the continuing students. We also host clients at the office who feel like they need a face-to-face meeting. I also book exams and follow up on behalf of the clients with our partners, handle payments and invoicing inquiries, address any partnership queries, handle any complaints from clients, and cascade them to the senior management where we have any issue that's necessary to be addressed by the senior management. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. I know you want to tell us more. So I'll stop you there because I know there's a lot you want to tell us about ACS. It's such an exciting place to work as well. But I'll ask Kennedy Munene to tell us more about his role, what he does, and then I'll come back to you shortly.
Thank you, Sally. And hello, everyone. Thank you for taking your time to be with us this evening, although we were a little late, but we're glad that we all made it. So my name is Kennedy Munene. I'm the head of recruitment at ACS. And basically what I do is when you come to ACS looking to go to the UK, US, or even Saudi Arabia, I'll check your qualifications and I'll be able to advise you appropriately. When you start your journey with us, I'll also support you all through. So if it's the progress, I'll let you know what's happening, let you know what documentation we need from you. And even when you get an interview, I'll prepare you for that as well.
Oh, thank you, Kennedy.
So thank you, Sally.
Yeah, thank you. I think your network is cutting off a bit, but we can still see you, so still there. So we now have Susan on the other side. Bless Susan, she's got a blackout where she is. These are some of the challenges of going live, and but she's tried. She's got a light and we can see her face. So Susan, if you tell us your role and what you do for ACS.
Thank you, Sally. Hi, everyone. My name is Susan, head of marketing at ACS. I would like to apologize for, I don't know if you can see me well, but I'm sorry for that. So my roles are, I advertise new services for ACS. I help in posting CBT questions every day in our Facebook platform. I answer all the questions in all our social media platforms. I add new members in our WhatsApp groups. I also follow up on the interested clients. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. So you've all rounded. I'm pretty sure there's somebody else who will be joining us later as well, but we'll wait on to hear what he will say about his roles. But we've said ACS, ACS, ACS. I want to know, what is this ACS? Before I go to our guest, who's going to take us through the journey, I need to understand what is ACS. Ruth, would you tell us what is ACS? What's the background? What happens?
Thank you, Sally. So ACS stands for Absolute Consultancy Services. It is an agency and a registered company here in Kenya, both in Kenya and the UK. We deal with nurses, purely nurses for now, but maybe later we might enroll all the medical practitioners, but for now we deal with nurses. Our main roles in that company is preparing nurses to head to the UK, USA, or Saudi Arabia. We have partnership with different partners here in Kenya, and we have also in Saudi Arabia, and we also have one in UK. So also in the US. So if a nurse is interested in traveling to either of those countries, they have different exams that they should take. And as ACS, we cover all the exams that they're supposed to take. Absolute Consultancy Services was started, it was registered first in 2009, but it started working officially 2019 in July. So let's say we are 1 year and a half, and I can say it has grown tremendously because if you search for Absolute Consultancy Services on your Google, not like if you say nursing agency, it will be the first thing that you'll see. If it's not the first, it will be among the first. So I can say that it has grown. Being 1 year old, it has tried. So basically we deal with so many things which I'll talk about within the interview, and we have several activities that go on. But for the background, we have Ania.
You've given us so much information. You know, you are full of what's happening, which is really good. And that means that when people come to you, you already have the answers on your fingertips. And people will be asking you so much about ACS, because at this time, I know people want to relocate and move from Kenya to other areas to work. Now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce. Now, you people, hang on, sit on your chairs properly, relax, because this lady has got a story to tell us. She is Bernice Bore. Yeah, is that right, Bernice? Yes. Now, I'm going to ask Bernice to introduce herself, tell us who she is, where she's from, when she came to, what happened, all these things. We are so eager to hear from you, Bernice. Over to you, Bernice.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the kind introduction, Sally. Thank you for the ACS team for having asked me to be your guest for today. Yeah, I don't take it for granted. I'm humbled. My name is Bernice Bore. I'm originally from Meru, the Greenland. If those of you who've been to Meru, with the beautiful girls like me.
Yeah.
I was born in a part of Meru which is called Chogoria. I've done my education, most of it in schools in Meru. I done my nurse training in Meru as well, Clive Ivan College of Nursing, which I'm so proud of, attached to PCEA Chogoria Hospital. And then I worked for His Highness the Aga Khan for about a year. And then I went my way to Kenyatta National Hospital, where I worked for about 3.5 years and got my way to the UK. In the UK, I've worked for the National Health Service, which is basically I'm a civil servant. I worked in Scotland and currently I'm in England. I've served the National Health Service at various capacities. And currently I am a lead nurse, or what people would call a deputy matron, in covering quite a vast group of specialized nursing. My background is renal. Those who may know me from this call, you probably remember me from Kenyatta National Hospital renal unit. And then I left and went to Scotland, the United Kingdom. The reason it's called United Kingdom, it's made up of 4 countries. There's England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, which make up the Great Britain or the United Kingdom. So when I landed in the UK, I landed in Scotland. And then for personal reasons, especially for wanting to bring my family across, I moved from Scotland, where there wasn't many people of my cadre, and where we people from Black and ethnic minority were not very accepted because they didn't have many of us, and I didn't think it would be comfortable for my family. It was one of the reasons why I moved to England. Plus there was opportunities at that point. And I always say, whenever there's an opportunity, it's good to grab it, because once you lose it, you probably will be waiting a bit longer, because if the person who gets it is going to be on that seat for long, then you've lost it and it's gone. So those are the reasons. I love working for the NHS. I love doing what I do. I went to be a nurse by choice, not by chance. The reason why I wanted to be a nurse, it was probably the wrong reason. But I think by the time I became a nurse, I'd actually worked out what nursing is, because the main reason why I wanted to be a nurse, when I grew up, I always acted as a nurse, and I wanted to wear the big capes that the nurses wore that was touched up with race and things. And I really admired nurses in them, and I wanted to grow up and wear one. But unfortunately, by the time I became a nurse, the capes had gone because of infection control. I still became a nurse, and I still love nursing.
Yeah.
By the time I became a nurse, I was fortunate to be the head guy in a Catholic mission hospital, and I spent a lot of time with the sisters and the fathers, and there was a health center which was attached to the hospital. So I used to go there to spend time. We done a lot of baking. I helped looking after patients, and I've always been very kind in my life and wanted to help people who I need. So in that hospital, I could do things like making teas. I learned how to make toast. When I grew up in my family, there wasn't a toaster. So I saw a toaster for the first time with the Catholic mission.
Yeah.
And I was happy to make toast, do breakfast for patients. And they taught me how to take a temperature, to take a pulse rate, to take a blood pressure. And I was a step ahead when I started my nursing. As most people know, when you're doing your nursing, those are some of the things that are kind of interesting when you're in your PTS, but I was already a milestone ahead. And yeah, so it was the wrong reason, but I'm still a nurse.
Well, wrong reason that came back to be a good reason. That's right. Yeah. Now, you see, your leadership skills, they started way before you even joined nursing. Is that right?
Yes.
Because you are a head girl as well. And look at where you are now. You are a leader in a big renal unit here in the UK. What probably we would like to know is your journey from Kenya to the UK. How did you find that? Were there any challenges that you experienced? What was going through your mind when you were doing that particular journey?
I would say when I came to the UK, in the early 2000s, and that time there was a big call out from the UK to get nurses from across the world, because we are really short of nurses. We are still very short of nurses currently. I think there's about 50,000 vacancies across the NHS organizations in the UK from the latest statistics. And at that time, they're asking people to come across. Quite a few of my friends were coming across. There was a lot of talks about it, and people telling us very positive things about it. I knew some nurses that had come across, and when I came to Nairobi from Meru, I mingled with people. I like networking. I like talking to people, and I'm easy to talk to. In that process, I came to learn the process of going to the UK, and I knew I was a candidate. And I don't believe in limits. I believe in I believe that it is possible, and everything is possible so long as you remain focused and you know what you want. And I told myself, I am going to the UK. I didn't have any money. I'd just come out of college, but I told myself I'm going to the UK. I didn't know anything about UK. I had to start researching. I had to start talking to people, and my friends did help me along. And that time, people are either coming via agency, or it was quite easy to come through, because I remember some of the people that came before me, did get even 2 years visa, as opposed to, by the time I was coming, it was a 6 months visa, which was subject to be extended. And we used to go for interviews in the British Embassy. But later on now, I hear people go through an agency, you drop off your papers, and then it's sent to the British Embassy. But you queued in the morning, and then you went in, and you're interviewed on the same day, and you got an A2 sheet. By that time, we had known, because we used to walk from Kenyatta National Hospital on your break. You go to the embassy, you get interviewed, and come back. So when you come back, when you come out, you're given a paper, an A2 paper, which was white. That was a positive. But if you're given a yellow one, you know you're not going to get it. And then we're left to either put your denial or put your visa on your passport, and then you go back in the afternoon to collect it. So that was the process then.
Yeah.
I count myself fortunate, because people did spend money with agencies, and some of the agencies were not good agencies, and people lost money, and people never got to get what they wanted. I applied directly. There was a lot of information on the internet, and a lot of information on the news and things, and I just applied for adaptation directly, and I got 2 offers. So I opted to go to an NHS hospital as opposed to a nursing home.
Yeah.
That's how my journey started. I just say God has been on my side, really. It's not my doing.
Yeah.
I believe favor is distributed equally. You just need to earn your favor. You need to work hard for your favor, but everybody, God is giving us favors equally.
That's right. I remember as well when I came over, I went through an agency, but I was very lucky to be able to be relocated here without having to go through so much. But what I'll do, I'll ask Ken. You are head of recruitment. How do you help the nurses? Just like Bernice has talked about going through an agency, but she went through straight to the NHS and applied for her adaptation and all that. How do you help the nurses to relocate from Kenya to other places? Which other places are you covering, and how do you help them?
Okay, thank you. So at the moment, we have the US, we have UK, and we have Saudi Arabia. And so basically when you come to us, what we do is first we check what you already have in terms of qualifications, and then we'll be able to advise you on what you're missing. If it's the UK, maybe the IELTS and the CBT. If you haven't started already, we'll assist you, because you also offer the IELTS training and CBT. So you'll be able to start your journey with us. And just to elaborate a little about each of the countries that we are, that will involve you doing the NCLEX, and we'll register you on the it's called the CGFNS. Yeah. So the NCLEX, we do the training here, so you'll not have to struggle to do that. So
okay, so you said about, sorry Kennedy, I'll cut you short slightly. You said CBT. What is CBT?
This is the computer-based test that you'll do online. Yeah, and it's a requirement by the NMC when you want to go to the UK. So that will come after you've done your IELTS. We'll train you and you'll do your CBT as well. And when you go to, once you've relocated to the UK, you'll also be assisted by the hospital you're working with to do the OSCE exams as well. Yes.
Kennedy, I think your line is not very clear.
So,
sorry, Kennedy. Sorry.
For the UK, line, as a
Kennedy, sorry,
okay.
I think your line is not very clear. I'll cut you short so as you sort that that one comes off. I know there's issues with network today. I'll ask Bernie. There's a question that has come up on Facebook, and I'll ask you that question. One of the challenges. It says, is racism a challenge in the UK for nurses?
The answer to that one is yes and no. But I would say things are changing. When we started, and Sally can agree with me, it was clear cut, and the journey to promotion and to opportunities was, we didn't have equal proportions. But currently there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work on Black Lives Matters that is being done in the NHS. We're not quite there yet, but I'm a great champion for Black Lives Matter in the organization and across Southeast. But life is changing. But sometimes you do not miss indigenous people. For example, the time when I lived in Scotland, because I lived in Scotland for about 4 years, there's people that have never been out of their village. So seeing a Black person, that was something they'd never seen. I remember one of the questions I got asked, because they keep dogs as pets. And obviously as Africans, we keep dogs for security. And I says to them, as we keep dogs for security, and somebody turned around and asked me, so what do you keep as pet? Goats and cows? And I told this person, actually, I had a cow which was a pet and it slept on my bed, and she believed it. So it tells you there is people who are ignorant, but because there's been a lot of immigration, and I was talking to somebody the other day and I was saying possibly in another 10, 15 years time will be kind of like America, which most of the people will be mixed race. I think we will be more accepted then, because then at least everybody will have seen Black people. But when we started, and especially in Scotland, you got excited when you saw a Black person, because you were counted. But things have changed since then, and people now believe, or people are beginning to know, that Black people are normal people. But challenges around promotion and work in your path, we are not many that are in my position across most organizations, and even in the one that I work in currently. So it takes a bit extra for you to be able to get to where you are. And these are the issues that we address with unions and with the Black and ethnic minority groups. But a lot of work is being done, and I am positive we will get there.
Yeah, it's true. It's just like saying, like, even back in Kenya, we do have a little bit of these challenges. We've got so many tribes as well, and you find that we do clash. That is also a form of, challenge. So you will find that these challenges are everywhere as well. But as Bernice has said, is that the challenges are now becoming well understood, and we are fighting for our rights. We are getting there. And as you've said, even in leadership, you find that not many of us are in that position. You have to work extra hard to get to where we are at the moment. Bernice is she is a lead nurse where she is, like a deputy matron. For her to have got there, it must have been a real journey. You have to have worked really hard for you to get there, to show people how to, you have to show your qualities. Now there's on that, Bernice, what would you advise people who are thinking of coming to the UK or relocating from Kenya to elsewhere? What qualities must they possess for them to be able to fit in with those challenges that are posed here abroad?
What I would say is just be authentic, just be yourself. Do not get yourself tailored to your job description. As a leader, I tell people there is a job description, but that's just a framework. The extra thing that you do matters, and more so it matters to the journey of your patients. So it's not especially to be recognized, but I have been recognized in the past, but I wasn't doing anything because I wanted to be recognized. I was doing that for the sake of my patients. So don't tailor yourself to your job description, and just do a little extra when you're at work. Just go that extra little mile. It makes a difference, not just to your name, to your patients, but then it also falls back to you.
Yeah.
That's one of my things. The other thing that I would say, just like Sally said, there's lots of, they're not called tribes here, but there are lots of dialects and kind of division depending on where you are, and even not being accepted. For example, when I worked in Scotland, we had one of the girls who was in the team who had come from England, and they called her the English girl. They would never call her by her name. So that means they were not accepting her just because she wasn't local. So there's this discrimination wherever you go. But then if you believe in yourself and you step forward and you believe it's possible and you work towards what you want to gain, so you stay focused. If you want to say do your management or do whatever you want to do, or your target is to maybe run an organization, you just need to work towards and remain focused, and just don't listen to what other people are saying, because you will not stop them from talking. My analogy is, once I'm on the boat and I decide this boat is going to Edinburgh, it doesn't get in the way whether there's waves, whether people are falling off the boat. It's those that remain on the boat that will to where they are going with me. So I tell the people that I manage, we just need to stay on the boat together.
Okay, brilliant.
You align your.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bernice, for that, because yes, I know people will be asking so many things because there's so much going on in the media. But there's one question that was passed earlier, that do you charge ACS? Anyone can answer this question. Do you charge for these services that Kennedy was talking about? Do you charge for them? Susan, you can answer that question.
Okay, thank you. We only charge for the training of IELTS. For the training of IELTS, we charge 12,000. After you pay the 12,000, we'll offer the CBT training for free, and the rest of the services is free. We only charge a little fee for mocks, but we charge no agency fee. Ruth,
Sorry.
something.
Sorry, you said how much do you charge for your services?
We charge for the training. We charge 12,000 for IELTS training.
Mm-hmm.
After you pay 12,000, the CBT training is given for free.
All right. So there's a free thing as well. So you pay 12,000 for the training, then the CBT is free.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's another question here that let me just have a look. How long does the process take from application to relocation? How long does that take? Ruth, you can answer that question.
The process takes 6 to 8 months. We say before COVID it was 6 months, but right now it's 6 to 8 months, because verification of your documents by Nursing and Midwifery Council, NMC, and Nursing Council of Kenya is quite taking longer than the way they were verifying your documents. Before COVID, it was only 14 days and you get your ATT. But for now, it can even take up to a month or so. So it depends with the verification period. But if you pass your English exam and CBT with the first trial, then it will be 6 to 8 months.
Is there anything else you offer do you offer any help for people to pass these exams? Outright, like the past go, do you offer any help before they attempt the tests? Do you offer any mock?
I'll break down for the UK journey. The first step when you come to ACS and you tell me that you want to relocate to the UK, the first thing I'll tell you is that we have a training that Susan just said, we charge 12,000. Before you start that training, we're going to give you something that we call a pre-mock. A pre-mock is an exam that you'll do before you do any training. That one will help us understand your weaknesses and your strengths, and we start working on your weaknesses when you start the training. After 1 month, whereby you're supposed to cover the 32 hours, you're supposed to take a mock. Our mocks are 97%. When you take our mock, whatever you're going to score is exactly what you're going to score during the main exam, or even higher, but nothing lower than that. So our tutors will advise you always, if you failed, like let's say you've missed with 0.5, they're going to advise you not to take the main exam, and they're going to guide you on how to pull up those marks that you failed.
Yeah.
So the mock is going to help you to be ready for the exam and show if you are ready for the main exam or not. That's why we have that mock. Susan said about a mock. There's those clients who feel like, I don't feel like I need that. We need the training or something, but I feel like I'm comfortable. So instead of wasting the 24,820, I always advise you to enroll for a mock at 3,000. And that mock is going to guide you if you're ready for the main exam or you need the training. So if you pay for that 3,000 and maybe we feel like you're not ready for that exam, we are not going to charge you the 12,000. We're going to deduct the 3,000 that we charged you for the mock, and then for our training when you enroll, we're going to ask you for the 8,000 to come to 12,000. So we are always considerate that clients might be needing this mock. Some of them, they come to the office and they tell you, no, it's the English that I've been speaking since I was in baby class up to, I have now a degree. Why is it such a big deal? And then you advise them, you just take the book. Then that phrase, we'll see how about it. But most of them, they take the advice, and if they take the MOOC and they feel that they are not ready and they see whatever the tutor advised is true, they always come back to us and tell us, yes, kindly give me that training so that I don't waste the 24,820.
Yeah, brilliant. So that means you can gauge and have an idea if you're gonna pass if you do the MOOC exam. Brilliant. I've got a question here. Somebody has asked, how do you relocate people? How do you get employers? And do candidates have to pay anything? As we've said, do you have to pay, when the time comes for you to relocate, do you have to pay anything? And how do you do that? Where do you get the employers from? Ruth, sorry.
So I'll answer that.
All right, go on, Kennedy.
Okay, so I'll talk especially for the UK. So we have 2 channels for the UK. First, we have through the agency, which means that we'll forward you to an agency that we partner with in the UK to look for a job for you, and then they'll inform us and we'll process that. And if you're our client, you've done your IELTS with us, that will be free for you. Then we have another channel, which is the direct application. For that, we'll assist you. Now, there's a difference between this one because now you'll be applying to several employers who are advertising positions. And the benefit of the direct application is that we'll be able to apply up to 10 positions. And at the same time, you can specify the area of specialization that you'd like to work in, although it won't matter as much when you're starting, but in case you have that preference. Yeah, for that we'll charge 10,000, which is now different from the agency. If you're applying through the agency, that will be free for you if you're a client. If you're not, and you've just come newly, it will be just an administration fee of 2,500 Kenya shillings. Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kennedy. There are quite a lot of questions coming from Facebook, and I have a few here. Ruth, you mentioned, there's one for Ruth. You mentioned 24,000. Is the other 12K for the MOOC? Is that right?
No, I need to clarify that. 12,000 is for the training. Once you enroll with us for the training for IELTS, we are going to give you free CBT, free CV alignment, free and a registration with Nursing and Midwifery Council, and every other step or you feel like you need to be guided will be catered for by the 12,000. So that 12,000 is for training for the IELTS exam.
Right.
The 24,820 is the cost that British Council charge for their IELTS exam. It goes for 24,820. So you're going to pay 12,000 to ACS, but for 24,820, it will go to British Council account for the main exam now.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. I can see John has joined us. John, I don't know if you're able to, sorry, he's coming late. He must have been held up by technical issues. John, you okay? Are you there? Are you there, John? Well, looks like he's having issues.
He's on mute.
He's on mute, yeah. Right, Bernice, there's a question for you here. Is there an age limit for nurses wishing to relocate to UK? Is there an age limit? What age did we come here? Honestly, it is after your training, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm thinking the person is thinking on the lines of the age limit, like too old, because of course, when you finish your training, you're about, I mean, you do training at any age now, isn't it? So I've never thought about the age limit, but of course, I'll let you answer that question. What do you think about that?
The age limit, I don't know what's running through the person's mind, but there's no age limit. The retirement age in the United Kingdom is 65 years. So I would say anybody less than 65 years can come along, join the party, which is in the UK. And I've known nurses who've qualified as nurses at the age of 50 and 52. A friend of mine qualified at 52. She was a banker in a country in Africa, and then she came across and decided to be a nurse. And by the time she finished her nursing journey, she was 52. And I think she was bold enough to be learning something new at that age. So it's how you feel, really. I don't think there's an age limit.
I don't think as well, because as I look at life in a different way. Look at what age did Mandela become president of South Africa? So basically, there's no age limit as such. It is how your body and your physique feels that you can be able to do that kind of job. And also you have to remember, nursing at first, we say that you have to start from ground roots. Is that right? For you to build up and move to where you are. You can't just say you've trained and you're going to move to leadership. No, you have to start from somewhere. It's that process, and how do you take that process as a person? So I don't think there's an age limit as per se. It's what you can be able to do. Somebody else was asking about maternity. Let me just have a look. There's loads of questions. We might not be able to answer all these questions, but we are going to try. We are going to try. So I know you said about the office, and when people come to the office and they ask you questions and what do we do, and you tell them what to do. Where is your office? Where is it located in Nairobi? Ruth.
Our offices are located at Information House. Information House is in Nairobi CBD. There's this big building that almost everyone who knows Nairobi knows it, called Afya Center. Next to Afya Center, we have a supermarket called Quickmart. So directly opposite Quickmart, which is next to Afya Center, is the Information House. And then you're going to go to first floor, room number F7. That's where you're going to find our offices, and you're going to find me, or Faith is the other staff that you're going to find at the office.
Great stuff. I think this question is, I think, for Bernice again. Sorry, Bernice, putting you on the spot. How long does it take for one at least to adjust and serve different, not only community, but people from more developed countries? So I don't know whether that's for, how long can it take for one at least to adjust and serve different, not only community, but people from more developed countries?
I think, again, that is a past question. Personally, I done my adaptation within 3 months. There is people that I know have struggled and have done it a bit longer. Currently, they're doing the OSCE program. During our time, we didn't have to go through the university, and Sally can agree with me.
Yeah.
Now you've got to do the OSCE exam, which is kind of tested by the university, and then you use the mannequins to actually see how you're going to be treating their patients. And it is personal, but all I say is always stay positive, and just do not look at the negatives, and you'll get there quicker.
Yeah.
It is very encouraging, because like I said, I was trained in Clive Ivan College, which was all missionary, and all the things that they kept telling us, the way things are done in the outside world, in the Western world, and the way we do them in Kenya, they always kept reiterating that all the time. And I so wanted to know, how is it done outside there? I can tell you here, the nursing is done by the book. Mm-hmm. Difference between the way the nursing in Kenya is done and the way the nursing here is done. Everything is done by the book. If your night shift is just like a day shift, you walk throughout the night, you do everything as per the book. If it's hourly things, they've got to be done hourly. If it's half hourly infusions or anything like that, it's got to be done by the book. There's no shortcuts about it. Mm-hmm. Most of the organizations now are electronic. So any documentation, any drug administration, any starting fluids, emptying catheters or anything like that is just as per the clock, and it's all electronic. So there's nothing like backdating. Mm. So long as you're up to speed, then that's absolutely fine. But yes.
But what I would say is we have, we are trained really well in Kenya.
Yes.
So the Kenyan system, how we get trained is you will be so advantageous when you come here, because you find that the education, we want to learn, we learn more, we are people who like researching things and knowing things. So you will not have a problem when you come abroad and do it, because you already have the basic training, and you will also find that nursing does not change at all. I will ask a question though, and this is to you, Bernice. What would you tell, what are the advantages of living in Britain? I know you're in Britain, you're in UK right now. What advantages would you tell those who want to come here that you have found here? What are the advantages?
I think, like I've just mentioned now, one of my biggest advantages is that I was able to put my theory into practice. You know, you set up your dressing trolley, you set up your bed linen trolley, you do everything like the way you learned it in school, in nursing college, which was a bit of a challenge with my nursing in Kenya. And other than that, you know, things like people come in with a complete heart block. I remember one of the patients that I knew back home, we had to raise money for a very long time before they could have a pacemaker. But here you come in with a complete heart block, and in an hour's time, you've got a new pacemaker. So things are done by the book, and it's so exciting. It's so fulfilling. Everything is there for you to use. Like Salia said, nursing in one country is just the same as the other. The heading of the drug chart or whatever it is, or a fluid chart, might be different just because it's a different organization, but it's all the same. I tell people, once you line, there's so many dialysis machines out there, but once you line one, the principle is the same. If you can line one machine, you can line any other machine in the world. It's just, you're in a different place, you're in a different country, and they'll use different machines in wherever you are. And it's the same thing as nursing. Metering the corner of a bed is the same thing as we meter it in Kenya. The only advantage here is you'll have plenty of sheets for you to change the bed linen in the morning. Whenever the sheets are soiled, they're there. You've got your dressing trolley with everything set up on it. So you're fulfilled. You don't feel like you're doing quarter for your patient. You feel like you're giving your patient whatever they need.
Yeah.
And the other thing, other than that, when there's lots and lots of opportunities, there might be lesser opportunities for promotions, but then again, if you work towards it, you'll get it. Mm-hmm. But there's lots of opportunities for you to be able to, like I've said, to put your nursing practice where you learned, you're able to see it, and you don't have to think, how is that thing done? It's just your face, so you can quite happily or quite easily talk about it. Yeah. And see your patients walking out and saying goodbye, and you're like, bravo. And that is what we want as nurses. Yeah. The other thing, there's lots of opportunities for you to get further learning. It's usually free if you're in the organization. But like I said, again, if you're just a lump at work, somebody else is going to prioritize you. But if you're showing your enthusiasm, your interest, the opportunities are there. There's courses running throughout, and you can develop yourself as a person. And then once you've developed yourself as a person, you can take it wherever you want, because once it's in your head, even left UK and went for it, wherever else, or you left Kenya and went wherever else, you carry it with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, other than that, social-wise, I would say, like when I said when we came, there was quite a few challenges. Like we didn't have Afro salons, we didn't have Afro hair styling. We didn't have lots of food that had come from overseas, you know, matoke and things. But now they're in every corner shop.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I remember we used to send people to Kenya to bring us kenwuchi and now there's lots of it here. There's
even Royco, you can get Royco and things like that as well.
Yeah, you get Royco, you get Amarula, you get everything here now. Everything is, you get Tasca in Tesco, which is one of like
even Guinness.
You get everything.
Yeah.
So that's not a challenge. The other thing is the way we socialize. There's no member stays here on a Friday, but you can make member stay in your own house. There isn't those of just like pubs that are open, like you meet on a Friday. We used to call it member stay on a Friday. It's not there here. But what we tend to do is we group as friends, except in this period of COVID where we are socially distancing. And obviously,
talking of COVID, actually, there's a question on COVID. I was waiting for this moment to talk about COVID. Somebody has asked, do you get, you know, when they are sent here relocated, they're saying that they've heard that people are sent straight to the front line to look after the COVID patients. Is that right, really? I have not heard that. I don't think that could happen at all.
I completely disagree with that. I'm in management and I completely disagree with that. But the current situation in the UK, 50% of the hospital beds in acute hospitals are occupied by COVID positive patients. They're probably not necessarily in because of their COVID situation, but they might have other medical issues. For example, they've fallen off their bike and they've broken their ankle, but then positive. But the data, the statistics tell us 50% of hospital beds across the UK currently are occupied by COVID positive patients. So you're more than likely to look after a patient, but you're not going to be looking after a patient because you've come from overseas. That is wrong.
Yeah, I'll add up onto the advantages. One thing I have learned is that education in the UK, yes, you said it's free. Also for the children, it's also free. And talking on that, somebody has asked, I don't know if Kennedy can answer this one. I can see Susan is, actually Susan is very quiet. I need to ask Susan a question about, you know, where do you get these questions from? You know, the ones that you post on Facebook, on social media, where do you post that? Where do you get the question from? Are they from an accredited body? Where do you get them from? You're muted.
Sorry, I'm sorry for that. The CBT questions, we usually get them from the accredited bodies. They are not just any other questions. They are
which accredited body, if you don't mind me asking? Well, maybe I know who can answer that. I see John is here. In fact, I'll put him on the spot. Where is he? John, he's joined us. He's the head of training. Please help Susan answer that question. Where do you get your questions from?
Thank you very much for that question, Sally, and I'm sorry for the hiccups with network. I hope you can get me very well.
Yes, I can hear you.
Now, I will start by maybe if I go back a little bit to talk about where we get most of these questions, especially the ILX and then the CBT and the NCLEX. So basically, for starting with ILX, we get them from British Council, especially the exams. They are as standard as the final British Council exams as you get them. Yeah, that's why we get all our questions and all the materials we are supplied by British Council, being one of the agents here in Nairobi. Yeah. Now,
that is fantastic. Reason I've asked that is so that people know that you're not making up these questions. Yeah.
No, we don't make them.
Yeah, it's from a body that is accredited, a body that gives those questions so that when you go to the particular country, you exactly know what happens in that country. So in short, this company is fantastic. It's done its research, yeah, and it's working with the right people. So don't feel that when you're applying or trying to relocate to go abroad that you are being taken for a ride. No, these guys have worked their socks off to get where they are. They've done all the research. They've got the things with them. Thank you so much, John, for answering that question right. I know you came in a bit late. I would like you to say who you are, what you do. Sorry for that.
Thank you very much, Sari. As I said, I'm John Madenke, Head of Training at Absolute Consultancy Services. I'm an accredited, trained by British Council to handle IREX. Yeah, and being head of training, what we do, we organize, plan coursework and course outline for IREX, CBT, and NCLEX. And then we recruit tutors who are very competent, who have done the exam first, and are good in teaching, who have that passion, so that we can prepare students for the nursing journey or now the relocation program. As you know, the first point of relocation, maybe you discussed when I was away, the first part is passing your IELTS. Sari, I know as earlier you had given us your story, sorry for bringing this. Right. During your time, maybe you didn't do, maybe the requirement of IELTS maybe was not there?
No.
But for now,
I remember when I did mine, as I said, I started applying when I was a first year student in Nairobi Hospital. That's when I started applying. And it was just an application pack, and which you got and you applied, you take it. That time we used to call it UKCC. I think, Dennis, you'll remember. Yeah, it was called UKCC, and you send that through. But I think with time and the way things have gone, remember the world is evolving. That is one thing. So things happen and things change. That's why you find it's all changed right now. Yeah, that's different.
I think on your side, you are very lucky, because the biggest obstacle and challenge which has been there is passing IELTS. And that is why ACS came up with a program of training nurses on IELTS, so that if you pass IELTS, then the rest CBT we train for free. It is a bit easier because it is nursing skills. So what the nurses have been doing, they just apply that in the exams and pass. But remember, IELTS is English for communication skills, listening, writing, reading, and listening. So because I think that those English-speaking countries, they want standardization. You know, a nurse comes from India, will speak Indian. And a Nigerian nurse will say Kamo. You see maybe somebody in England saying Kamo and Kenya Kamon, you know, that kind of language. So they need standardization. And I think for me, that is why they require every nurse to have undergone training, do IELTS, and pass with a band of 7. So that is what we have been doing. And so far we can say so good, because most of the nurses have done exams and passed, and others are still in the process of training.
Fantastic.
It's also good to add, John, not just the African accent, but I think some of it around the IELTS being made compulsory is when the UK had opened up EU, and there were so many migrants from EU. The Spanish don't speak English, the Portuguese don't speak English, and the Italians. So for them to be able to work in UK, they had to pass the IELTS, and because we're doing it to their own, then it's been taken back to even the countries that learned English as their first language.
And maybe to add, we can say, maybe to add, ACS has been like the first company to start training IELTS while preparing nurses in all the companies that help nurses to migrate to UK or US.
I think, as Dennis has pointed out, when we were in the European Union and we opened Britain opened doors for European nurses to come in, and we were in the Commonwealth countries, and it was those ones off. I think one of the European laws, if they are doing that, then they need to do it for everybody else. So that you never know, now that we are we've Brexited, you never know whether that may change. So we are keeping that that space open. You never know, it might change, that it might go back to the way it was, because one, we are a Commonwealth country. As you know, with Commonwealth countries, you kind of get advantages with Britain for being that as well. So you never know, it might change. Now, somebody has asked a question. This, I think, is for Kennedy. Do you relocate families as well, or is it just the person who is applying? Do you help families relocate?
We help the families as well. We'll help you organize the visas for them and all the documentation that you will require. What is different is that the employers will not cover the cost of travel for the family, but then you will still be able to do so. And as Benny said, pointed out, and you as well, there is free education. So I think that's one of the benefits of moving to the UK. Yeah.
I am really enjoying this. I want now Susan to actually come back and talk to us about how do you, I know you're working in the media. Are you able to pull people from you're the marketing person, to pull people from the social media platforms and talk to them? Or is it you who deals with that bit, or does somebody else do it? How do you get people through your social media platforms?
Thank you. What we do is we advertise our company and our new services through our social media platforms. We have a Facebook, the one we are using now. We have a Twitter account. We have an Instagram account. We have a YouTube account. And we have WhatsApp groups. So what we do, after I post the services and the whatever is going on, if someone gets interested, I take the number and call. Or if they take my number there and make inquiries, I answer all the questions. I also add people to our WhatsApp groups. Let's say someone sees our adverts on Facebook and inboxes, I will answer the question they are asking, then I will add them in our WhatsApp group. Our WhatsApp groups are more convenient. Yeah, thank you.
Right, talking of that, I would like you to, where would we find, like your phone number? Have you got like a phone number for the office and all that, or do they phone you direct to your personal number?
Yeah, we have the office number. It's usually in all our social media platforms.
What is the phone number, if you don't mind saying it, if you've got it?
Okay, it's 07 0794
Yeah.
587
Yeah.
89.
Oh, brilliant, fantastic. So that number will also appear in the chat group there. There's somebody asking here, what happens when the applicant arrives in the UK? What happens? Have you got a plan when you've done all the process, when somebody arrives in the United Kingdom? What happens? How do you help that person settle? Ruth.
Okay, thank you, Sally. Okay, I'll say this proudly that our main office is in the UK. That's where our MD and some other staffs are based. ACS Kenya is a branch, so ACS UK is the main office, is our headquarters. So that means that once you get to the UK, you're being taken care of. Like everything that you need will be handled by the office. If you need to learn more about the country, and if you feel like the hospital is not providing whatever you expected, our office is there. We always share our MD's number. We always share the office number. We always share our emails. Our website is there. If you feel like you need to contact, if you visit our website, one thing that you realize that our office here in Kenya and in the UK, the locations are there. So if you feel like you want to visit that office, you're free. And that makes our work easier here in Kenya and both in the UK, because once a client gets there, he or she won't feel lost, because we have an office there that you can direct you to, and you have our staff who are very ready to take care of you. So we are very glad to say that we have an office in the UK.
Honestly, I'll say that because I never had that. I landed in Manchester airport, and there was this guy stood with a placard saying my name, Sally. In that time, I was using my maiden name, Sally Kongo, and so I went to him. He looked at me. He didn't speak. Got in the taxi, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've been hijacked. And I was there trying to ring the matron of the place where I was going. I was like, is this the guy? What's the name of the guy who was supposed to be getting, So at least we know that when people come here, they have a base, they have an office that they can call, they have somebody, a contact who can help them to settle in. You'll also find that if that person helps these people to settle in, you feel kind of comfortable that you have that, you have an extension of your company here, which is what we didn't have then. You find yourself in strange places. And somebody else was asking, when people come here, where do you place them? Which accommodations do you give them? What happens where do they live?
I'd say like the partnership that we have, once a nurse relocates, for the first 3 months, they are accommodated by the hospital. The employer is going to accommodate them for the first 3 months, because within those 3 months, they are going to be trained for that exam that Ken said about OSCE, Objective Structural Clinical Exam. They're supposed to train it for those 3 months, and then they're supposed to take the exam, whereby the employer is also going to pay for that exam if you pass with the first attempt. But if you fail, you have 2 more attempts to take that exam. And after, you have 8 months, up to 8 months to try to take that exam. So for the first 3 months, the employer is going to accommodate you. It's a shared accommodation. That means that within the first 3 months, we are going to help you figure out which is the cheapest state to live in. And after the 3 months where you want to move to, that's where you have an office to help you with moving from the accommodation in the hospital to now your residence, where you want to be living, where you want to call home after the 3 months now.
Yeah, brilliant. Now, something interesting. I'm waiting for this one. Berenice, you are a multi-award winner in nursing. I want you to talk to us. What have you won? How you've got there? And please share it away. Share it away. Go on, Bernice.
Thank you, Sally. Before I share about the award, I was just talking about the advantages of coming to the UK. And I think that's an award in itself, because most people you talk to here, they were coming here, say, for 2 years and go back to Kenya just to buy a matatu or build flats and go back to Kenya. But I was clearly focused when I was coming here. I wasn't going to be here anything shorter than 6 years, because I was focused that I wanted to get British citizenship, not just for myself, but also for my family. When I look at the advantages of my children, especially being British citizens, they get free medical care. This morning, you're picked up by an ambulance. I'm not saying that they'll be sickler, touch wood is what they say here. I'm not saying they'll be sicklers, but if you had a heart attack, you get your pacemaker done, say, within, you don't have to find for that. People with kidney failure, it costs the government about £70,000 a year to treat one patient or to maintain one patient on dialysis. If you multiply that by 140,000 Kenya shillings, it's quite a bit of money. So an ambulance will pick you up, bring you to the hospital for dialysis and take you back. So you don't even worry about your journey for going to the hospital 3 times a week. You get all the drugs that patients couldn't afford. You get free kidney transplant when an organ comes up. You get free transport, like I've said, and just the government here is so focused on their people being in proper health, because unless you have a healthy nation, then you'll not have a healthy government. So that is something that I really wanted to achieve more so for my family. And it's other little things, we were seeing Suzanne there in the dark. I've not seen a power cut for gone 15 plus years. I've never seen a power cut.
If you get one, it's not been unfortunate. Very, very wrong.
And it will be something very, very wrong. things like gas cutting out in the middle of you trying to cook. Your gas is piped into the house. You buy a pair of shoes, you don't polish it or anything until it wears out, because there's nothing like the shoe shiner at the end of the road. You know, you used to carry shoes, and then you wear gumboots, and then you carry shoes, and they used to be the shoe shiners at the end at the bus stop. So those are not things that are there. So there's other things. And then the advantage of getting citizenship, there's a bit more freedom of travel when you've got that passport. And you don't even know if, I know my parents gave me the best, and they helped me to become an nurse and to get here. And if they could have given me a British passport in their hands, they could have, but they've obviously, my late dad was very proud of me, and who I'm very proud of, did bring me up to be what I am, and my mom, who is probably listening to me now. So all these things, getting your children to have that citizenship, there's a bit more freedom. For example, going to the US, if you're coming from Kenya, you've got to apply for a visa and get your visa before leaving the country. If I wanted to go to the US today, I'll get a visa at the airport. And there's so many other countries just by the virtue of having that British passport. So there's so many things. And then the other thing I say, when you come here, your salary is kind of 2 to 3 to 4 times more than your salary. So if you're in Kenya, you're saving 10% of your salary, whatever your 10% is, say if you, whatever it is, if you're saving, say 1,000 a month, you'll be saving up to 4,000 a month, because then it's up to 4 times of what you've been doing. So then you're able to do things that matter to you a lot more quicker. And then just that being, it's a nice place to be. It's got its challenges, it's got its bad weather, it's got its beauty when it's snowing, it's cold, but it's beautiful. You know, you always saw Christmas cards with snow, and that didn't make a lot of sense. And on the first Christmas, I was like, wow, this is, you have this on there. It's nice to see it yourself. So it's a better feeling. So there's other little things that come along with it. But on the virtue of awards, I have been fortunate, or I have gotten some awards as a group and some as individuals along my nursing journey. I did mention that I was the head girl of a school, and it started quite early. I was acknowledged then for a few things, but I wanted to talk about one that actually touched my heart, which is a recent one, which I did get as a Making a Difference award. Around the COVID-19 last year, there was it was also in the media a lot about how the Black and ethnic minority people were disproportionately disadvantaged by COVID-19. And in my day-to-day work and just talking to people, somebody acknowledged that I was doing something extra, and I was nominated to the Nursing Award Making a Difference for the, and RCN is the equivalent. Sally is clapping because it's
I know it.
It's
a beautiful award, honestly. Beautiful award.
Kenya National Union of Nurses in Kenya.
Yes.
Having been nominated and having won that award, and just kind words that the RCN director who gave it to me said, and the director of nursing, the chief exec of the hospital, and they gave it to me, it was just so humbling. It wasn't anything that I'd seen coming. It wasn't anything that I was doing to be appreciated. It wasn't, I was just doing my job. There was, like I said, there was a lot going on, and I was just there just to help. And because I was there trying to help, then I achieved an award, and it's Diamond.
I know.
So it's beautiful. I'm so proud of it. It's one of the great ones that I've achieved.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, it's not always good to look at your job description, because if I was tailored to my job description, this wouldn't come along. But then I wasn't doing something outside my job description to be appreciated. I was just being there to be helpful because people needed me.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. You know what? That is why we say that do not limit yourself at all. You can achieve anything here as well when you come. Yeah, that's Bernice. She's got an award. She's a Kenyan nurse, and she's achieved something in Britain as a nurse, doing what she loves and from what she's been taught all along. And she's done even extra and gone far and beyond and That's what we do as nurses. There's so many questions. I can't keep up. Their Facebook page is just bing, 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 bing. But people are asking about, I think they've got interested about the relocation with families, because everybody wants to come here with their family, and they're asking, how long does it take to bring their families over? How long does it take to get visas and all that kind of question? Bernice, I am way overblown with your award, honestly. I need to speak to you after this, honestly.
So humbling.
Yeah, it is so
It's 60,000 nurses in the Royal College of Nursing. So it's just God, really. It's not me, and it's not anything that I worked for. So it's
Oh no, you've worked really hard for it as well. You don't realize when you're doing these things, you do the job you love, you give it all, but there's somebody up there watching. Yeah, that's how I put it. I'm like, I know somebody is watching me. I have to just do my best. But we don't do this to get awards as well. You do it for our patients, for the love of the job, and to see that your patients are going home out of, feeling nice, safe, and for longer life as well. So Kennedy, this is for you actually. It is about relocation with no, you do recruitment. Who does anyway, you can answer it, or anyone can answer it. It's relocating with families. How long does it, do people have to pay for the services of relocating for families, or do you just do for nurses? How long does it take for relocating the families?
Okay, thank you. So we'll help the families as well. And as I stated earlier, it's just that the nurse will now have to cater for the visa costs because the employer won't cater for that. But it's definitely doable. And I know most people who are looking to relocate actually have families. So it's something of interest to them. And from the time we start the visa application, it will take up to 12 weeks from the moment now we begin doing the application. Yeah, so it's quite soon. And preferably after, most people prefer to do it after they do their OSCE exams once they go to the UK, because now it will be less strenuous for them, and maybe they'll have adapted a little bit and maybe identified places they want to go to. Yeah, so I think that answers the question.
Yeah, what I would say personally, my husband came after 1 year. That is after, because at that time, I think I was given a visa for 1 year by the British government. Of course, I was very lucky. Because I know you're given, is it your adaptation was for 6 months? Others were even given adaptation for 3 months. And most people would come over after 1 year. And I found that kind of quite reasonable, because within that 1 year, you actually have done your, as you say, your OSCE, your adaptation, or whatever you've done. You've also kind of learned the ways of living in the country you're going to, and bringing in your family. Yes, you will hustle together, but at least you have some sort of understanding. So it all depends how soon you want to bring your family as well. What finances have you got? What visa have you got on? Others are asking, what permit, after you've come and done your exams and finished that, what would you, how long do you think the visa, how long do they get their work permit for? Do they still get the work permit? Is it after 2 years, or what is the process after they've done their adaptation or their OSCE? Kennedy or Ruth can answer that.
Yeah. Okay. By the time they get to the US, to the UK, sorry, they'll have received the sponsor letter from the employer. So that's what is most important at the time. So if they have the sponsor letter, which will be sent before they even travel to the UK, they'll just start working. And as they during that adaptation period, which is like the first 3 months when they're doing their OSCEs, uh, they'll also receive support training from the employer on how to do the OSCEs as well. So it will be pretty easy for them. And it's very difficult because the employer also needs you. So they'll just coach you appropriately.
Mhm. Right. So, you know, like the government, you get a visa. Is that right? What's the length of the visa when you come over?
Oh, so they introduced a new visa specifically for healthcare workers.
Mhm.
It's the healthcare visa. And now what the UK is doing, they want to make the process quite easy and even cheaper for healthcare workers because they need healthcare workers. It's not different from the visa that you'd ordinarily take. And now I think it's even processed within even 3 weeks, which is quite
Okay.
fast. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Brilliant. We've talked so much about the United Kingdom. Are there other places that you take nurses to?
Yeah, we take nurses to the US as well
Mhm.
and Saudi Arabia.
And Saudi
And
Arabia.
just to, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
so just to expand a little on Saudi Arabia, uh, what's different and maybe it's interesting to some and it might be a challenge to some, there are no requirements for the IELTS and other examinations. And I think Ruth will confirm that as well before you go to Saudi Arabia. Uh, the challenge is they're mostly requiring you to have a bachelor's degree. And I know most nurses in Kenya have their diplomas. So that's maybe one of the barriers, but I know they'll probably maybe work something around it. But at the moment, they will require you to have a bachelor's degree. Yeah.
That is to go
And the
to
process
Saudi
is also
Arabia,
quite
yeah?
Saudi Arabia, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So do you just recruit nurses from Kenya or have you targeted other areas in Africa?
We recruit
So,
nurses from
Kennedy.
all around. Yes.
Ruth or Kennedy can answer the question. Anyone, or Susan, John, anyone can answer the question. Do you target just Kenya or have you got other areas you're working at?
Okay, I'll
Okay, I'll
let Ruth
answer that
answer
one.
this one.
Okay, go on,
Thank
Ruth.
you, Ken. I'll add something on whatever Ken said about Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is the easiest country that you can relocate to because they just need a degree. If you have a degree and we are going to help you with CV aligning because they need it to be professional, that's all you need to relocate. And then they're asking for 2 years, but if at least you have an experience on whatever you're applying for, they can absorb you. But once you get there, there's an exam, just like OSCE. There's an exam that they call prometric that you take once you get there, and they're going to pay for you, but they'll deduct on your salary monthly. They won't take the whole amount, but they're going to do it monthly until like you're done paying them. So for Saudi Arabia, it's the easiest to relocate to, but no, so nurses always call in and ask, hey, Saudi Arabia, you have these myths that they are tearing people. Is it safe for us? And I'll say yes. So the beauty of this company, as I said, as we started, that before we do something, we look at all sides. Before we signed this contract, we contacted even the embassy to confirm that the hospital exists and everything that they're saying and the slots that they are talking of, they're there. But right now we've suspended that because when COVID started, the government, they didn't release the visas that we were supposed to use to give the nurses so that they can move. So that was one of the challenges that we are encountering with Saudi Arabia. But as soon as the government released the visas, the nurses who are interested will move. So for USA, we have a contract with a very big hospital, very big one that has 220 hospitals in 22 states. And so when it comes to USA, we have still qualification. They look for bachelor's, yes, but they still absorb diploma.
Mhm.
Now the difference for USA and UK comes in because for USA, you'll need 2 years experience. And if at all you've done everything and you're ready to move to US and you still have like, let's say 2 months to go so that you can have 2 years experience, You are going to delay your moving and your relocation up to you get those 2 years experience, because for US it's very strict. Whatever they ask for is whatever they need. So for US, yeah, we move. And for the question that you asked, we don't deal with nurses just in Kenya. We deal with nurses, let me say, from worldwide, because like I was talking to Ken and I asked him to look for the qualifications for Canada and not Italy, Australia.
Okay.
Because I have a client in Canada and I have other clients in Australia. So with the last event we had with this Sally, it went so big than even whatever we expected. So there are so many questions from all over. We also have nurses from Rwanda, Uganda, and Nigeria. So currently in Africa, I can say we have touched South Africa, Rwanda, Nigeria, and Kenya and Uganda now. But now for the other countries, we have Canada and we have Australia. So I can say this is a big country. This is a big company and it's going places. And for those countries, we look at the pros and the cons before we get back to you. Because for USA, unfortunately, anyone from Nigeria can't move to USA. It's so unfortunate, but we're still waiting for more information on the same. And we get up to date, because once you get an inquiry from a client from that country, you need to update them that you can't move to this country, but you can move to this country. So that's why we have Ken on tours and we have other stuff that's helping him know which country is not taking this country and which country is allowing this country. Yeah, so I can say that our company is not only based here in Kenya, we are based worldwide, as I can say.
Somebody is actually asking to the process of nurses going to the USA, can they choose which state they prefer to relocate to? Or do they go to specific, or they can choose? You've said that you've got one big hospital that is covering over, is it 22 states in America? So can people choose which state they want to go to among those, those states that you're providing? Can they choose any of them?
I'd say yes and no. I'd say yes and no. And yes is because you'll choose, and if you're lucky enough that the hospital that is in that state is employing, then you're going to be deployed there. And no, because if maybe you chose a state that is not employing and you have another state that's giving whatever you have, then you're going to be deployed into that state. So I'd say yes and no. It depends. Maybe if you're lucky enough to get whatever you wanted and we have a vacancy there, then lucky for you, you're going to go to the country that you would want to.
Okay, so what about the United Kingdom? Would they choose where they want to go if they came to UK, or you have specific places they go to?
Sorry?
Hello? Sorry, in the United Kingdom, would they choose where they want to go, or have you got specific places where you send people to?
The same case as USA, it happens to the UK. If you're lucky enough and for specific happens for direct applications, mostly, because for the rest we have like specific, and maybe if you're lucky enough and you want a state that we have a vacancy in, then you're going to be let's say it's just luck. It's not 100, it's not a guarantee. We don't want to say that you'll be guaranteed that you'll move to the state that you need to or you wish to go to. But if you're lucky enough and you want to go to that state and you have a vacancy, then well and good.
Oh, brilliant. Now, there's another question here. People are asking on Facebook. There are so many questions. I can't keep up. So I'm actually just glancing and picking the ones that I see first. But something has caught my eye, and they say, do you recruit midwives? Do you recruit enrolled nurses to come to wherever, either to Saudi Arabia, America, or UK? What qualifications are required for you to relocate?
I'd leave that question to Ken.
Kennedy. To who? Yeah, go on, Ken.
Yeah, to Kennedy.
That's your area, actually.
Yes. Okay, so you stayed for midwives and?
No, what I was asking is, do you recruit midwives? Do you recruit community nurses? you recruit enrolled nurses? What are their qualifications, or what sort of nurses are you helping for relocation or to move abroad?
Thank you. So primarily we are looking at those people will go to start. Okay, I know most of them will have specialized roles already in Kenya, and sometimes you'll have to go and start as an adult nurse before now you maybe move to specific areas. So I'd say we'll try to place nurses across the board. Yes, because the opportunities are presented for everyone. Yes.
Okay,
Oh, and
brilliant.
about the qualification, sorry.
Yeah.
About the qualifications, it's what we just stated earlier, which is definitely the English exam that will still be required because of the standardization and the CBT. And now when you go to the UK, now the OSCE exam, which is now which are now helped by the employer.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
basically, you have to have a nursing qualification for you to relocate. You've not started doing community nurses or enrolled nurses. I don't know if they still do enrolled nursing in Kenya anymore. I don't think so, unless they are those ones who did. I think they're nursing. Is that right, Dennis? I'm not. If I'm right there.
Yeah, I think the enrolled nurses are being phased out internationally. It's not just in the United Kingdom. I don't remember the last time I saw an enrolled nurse. It's a good few years ago. I'm not entirely sure they're being trained in Kenya anymore. I was in one of the early classes of KRCHN.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're doing any more enrolled nurses. And the minimum entry here as a nurse will be diploma.
Yeah, I remember actually, I don't know whether you remember in 2013, they said that all nurses should be degree trained. Do you remember that drive that was there, that we should all have a degree by 2013? And there was a massive drive, and that's how most people got their free education and things like that, because they are trying to get everybody to a level of degree now. If you have a diploma, they want you to advance yourself to a degree level as well, which I don't, I've not seen that no long. I've not seen it anymore. So I don't know now.
Yeah, I think there was a big drive, a lot of money put into it, but I think the greatest population of nurses were diploma nurses, and more so the nurses who are coming in from overseas were diploma holders. Yeah. So I don't think the drive went really far, but there was a lot of money, and there's still quite a few nurses who are on the degree pathway currently.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's compulsory that you must have a degree. You can still get to the UK with a diploma, and you can still come out of the UK colleges that do train nurses with a diploma or a degree. Depends on how you feel.
Yeah, I'm laughing because there's a very funny question on chat. Do you get spouses when you relocate to UK? That's a funny one. I like that one. You can get a spouse anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. As the question about America, the person who was asking is asking about in regard with accommodation. Do you help people with accommodation when they go to America, to USA? Anyone can answer that. Go on, Ken. That's your area.
For America.
I'll let Ruth just answer.
Ruth, go on. Do you help with accommodation?
Okay, thank you, Ken. For America, you're going to be accommodated for 1 month, and like in the UK, 3 months. But for America, it's 1 month, and they believe within that 1 month you'll have figure out things and maybe get a favorable or suitable accommodation. But still, we are going to guide you with that.
Yeah. They were also asking, like when you come over, how do you get, the national insurance number? And what I know is that you cannot work in UK without an NI number. So you have to get that one for instantly before you start working. Do you assist people with that when they come over to the United Kingdom? to get, you know, to start them off with the basic things that they need to be aware of so that they can have a smooth transition? Do you help people with that?
So before you relocate, we are going to have a meeting with you, including the office in the UK, and you're going to give you the pros, the cons, and with the help of now Sally and Vanis, who are part of the family now, you're going to advise the nurses on whatever to expect. Like, you know, so many nurses think that once they get to the UK, they won't experience any challenges. It's like life there is 100%. You know, these beliefs that we have here in Kenya, and that working in the state, it's like you're just going pluck money on trees, like collect them on the streets and everything. That's why we have an office there. So before you relocate, we're going to guide you with everything. We're going to help you understand everything that you need to apply for, any lessons that you'll need, everything. We're going to update you. We're going to do all that with the help of the office in the UK and Ken, and the office here in Kenya now. Once you get that, maybe you pass the interview and you get that offer letter and we start off everything. We're going to start the preparations immediately.
Right. I think we've gone way over 15 minutes over. It's just the questions that are there, and the topic is so interesting. It's very, we have over 78 people watching us at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's brought a lot of attention, but because I think we need to end this, we've been here for almost heading to 2 hours now. So I will ask everybody to give their last thought and their closing comments. So I'll go to Susan. Susan has been quiet. If she can give us her closing remarks, what do you tell people about ACS and what you're doing? Unmute yourself, Susan.
Okay, thank you, Sally. As I had said, I am the head of marketing, and I would like to encourage people to join us as we make this UK journey a reality. I would really advise us to join ACS, as we are the best company so far. We help the clients with we help the clients with the whole process, from the first up to the last bit of the process. So I can say we are the best so far. We offer pre-mocks and mocks before you sit for the main exams, unlike other companies. We also look for employers for our clients. So I really encourage us to join ACS as we make this journey a reality. Thank you all, and thank you for attending our live broadcast. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to you, John. Could you tell us your closing remarks? Could you tell us what is so important about ACS? Tell us what your closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Sally. And let me start by saying, talking to nurses, that the dream of many Kenyans, especially in Kenya, is to migrate to Western countries to make a livelihood, and where, because we know in Western countries we can make a good living, as our nurses have said. Now, I would urge them to grab this opportunity, because they are the only profession that they have the quickest and fastest way to locate. Other careers, maybe like we have, let me say, like the other cadres, they may try their best, but they may not get that chance quickly as nurses. So grab this chance and go to your dreamland. Now for ACS, let me say, this is the most genuine, transparent company I've ever seen in Kenya. Let me say, and I'm very privileged to have been associated with it, that offers quality services to its people openly, that there's nothing hidden. You can see from A to Z. Actually, we do what we say, beginning from the end in mind. When you come to ACS, actually you start living in UK when they're still in Kenya. And I would urge all nurses to join us so that we can help them realize their dreams. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, John. Yes, take your dreams and run with the dreams. Don't let it go. Kennedy, what are your final thoughts?
Okay, thank you, Sally. So first, I'd like to say that when you're coming to ACS, you're coming to a very credible company, and we have as we've heard before, we have partnerships with the British Council. We have partnerships abroad with the hospitals that you're taking you to the countries you're taking you to. So when you come to us, it's definitely, we're taking the journey with you from when you start your IELTS training or any other training, depending on where you want to go. Yeah, so
Oh, your network is letting us down. When you're saying the most important bit, I was really waiting for it, and then it disappears. What did you give us the last sentence that you said? Sorry, Kennedy.
oh yes, so okay. So what I'm saying is
Oh, let's forget it.
when you
Every
start
time
your
you talk,
journey
it
with
disappears.
us,
It's all right. At least we know that you
okay,
work
sorry.
with one of the best, is it British Council, which is also a recognized body within the United Kingdom. Ruth, what are your final remarks?
Thank you, Sally. I'll say thank you for hosting us, by the way. It's an honor. Talking to so qualified, credited nurses, like it's such an honor to host you, to have Vanessa with us. It's such a great honor. We don't take this for granted. We take it as a great honor to our company, and we look forward to many more. And I'll say my final remarks, like this is the first company that is doing this, enlightening nurses, giving success stories, giving you stories. Like there's this company that will just tell you, you go to UK, it's okay, whatever. But no, they are not telling you whatever you are going to expect there. You just think that you're going to go, be comfortable, and everything will be okay. No, we're giving these sessions every month to make the nurse understand, yes, I'm enrolling for this, but this is what I expect. And like here in Kenya, here in Kenya, you have the positives and negatives. And in every country, you have positives and negatives. That's why you have these sessions. Because like last month, we had Sally. She educated us a lot. Like we learned so much. Now from Bernice, we've learned a lot. Even Sally, some few things she learned from her, and she's there in the UK. So this means that it's a learning process. You'll get more information each and every day, and we'll be having these sessions every month to make sure that our nurses are comfortable, to make sure that the nurses, they want to grab this opportunity, but they have this fear. So we are working on their fears. And while doing that, that's why we have these sessions. So I can say, proudly say that this is the only company that is doing this. The other thing is privacy of information. We have privacy of information for our clients. Like we have like 100 clients who have done IELTS, and we have 80% who have passed. But if you look at our social media, we don't post them. No, because we understand most of them, they don't want their employers to know that they are doing this. They want to move. They'll be sacked. We don't want that. We want them to continue working to the last minute so that they can move. So that's privacy. We want to give them all the privacy that they need. We can say, yes, we train them, they passed, but we look at the other side. We don't want them to lose their jobs and us you're benefiting. So we look at the privacy of information for the clients. There's something also we do at our office. If you enroll with us for IELTS training, every Thursday you'll be having a call from the office each and every Thursday till you are done with your training. So the main reason we do these calls is maybe you might be having an issue and you fear that if you tell the tutor, he or she might not take it positively. But if you tell the office will address it in a professional way. Like maybe you have issues with your timetable, and maybe you feel like when you tell the tutor, you feel like he or she will feel this person is taking advantage or something. But if you tell the office, you'll know the best way on to handle your issues. So those calls are very important. And every client who has had the training with us can confirm that we call them each and every Thursday to know if they have any issues or if they need anything to be helped out with. We have so many services that we didn't have a chance to talk about today, but I can point out on some few. As Ken said, that we have partnered with British Council. That's a plus for us because we've been given an opportunity to give to sell some books. revision kits from British Council. That's a book that anyone who is not in a position to attend to a class, either online or physical, they can use that book. Then they'll come, we'll give them a mock, and then they'll be free to do that exam. We are also this company, with the help of partnering with British Council, we can book an exam for you. We book these exams for free. We won't charge you. You just have to pay the amount. You'll send some few documents that we will need. We'll book the exam for you. The beauty of booking with us is that I'll remind you a day before the exam that you'll be having your exam. Then on the date that you're having the exam, I'll give you a call. I remind you, please don't forget about your exam, because nurses are having so many issues that it might just slip off their mind. So we are here to guide you. We are here to help you with all things. So partnering with British Council has brought so many advantages on our side. We also have MOOCs. MOOCs, we charge them at different rates, and all the services that I'm talking of will be on the chat spot. If you want to look at the services that we offer, you'll find all of them there, and you can also visit our offices or call the office number that Susan shared. But before we end the session, we are going to share the number again. So we also, before COVID, we were moving to every county. These were sensational meetings. Like, we want to know, in this county, if we give you a class, how many clients we will have. Like, some clients, they say that they wouldn't afford to have online classes because they understand on their side, it won't be convenient for them because of things like network issues, and also maybe something like blackout or whatever Susan is experiencing right now. So we used to offer classes, physical classes. So far we had 6 counties that we were working with, but we had to close down those classes because of COVID. But after COVID, if everything relaxed, we are going to resume with all those classes, because we understand some people will want a physical class and not an online class. But for now, online classes are equally helpful, and we are going to guide you with everything. So I can say, if you join us, you're joining the best. You're joining this company, and we are going to go through this journey with you. You're not going to say like, she's done with IELTS or CBT, let her take over. No, you're going from the start to the end until you move to UK and you relocate and you settle down. That's when you're going to say that now, yes, this client is comfortable. So welcome to ACS, where this company is trustworthy and transparency is working.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for such detailed, elaborate end of the note. But before that, we need to hear from the person on the spotlight, Bernice. We need to hear from you. What are your final words? What advice would you give people who are thinking of relocating to whichever country, be it UK, be it Saudi Arabia, be it America? What would you tell those people in your short own words?
Just before I talk about that, I would like to just add on what Ruth said about the NI. If you're coming to the UK, or if you get a work permit, whether it's from Eastern Europe or anything, the employer will help you, or maybe an agency like this one would help you, and your NI with an appointment letter should come back within a week time. So that way it will be way in time for your end of month pay. Mm-hmm. So asking for about the NI, anytime you get an appointment and you don't have NI, possibly because you are relocating, that would be very easy for an employer or a company like this one. I'm sure the UK office wouldn't have a problem with that. And it will come back in about 3 to 5 working days. So that will be way in time for your fast pay. So just an add. For me, I'm humbled to have been your guest tonight, and at the same time, proud to be associated with ACS. And when I look at the people who are working for ACS, is empowering the youth, which we need to empower our youth so that they can take over from us. I'm a mother of 2 boys. So it's empowering the people who will take over. And it's the same thing that I do every day, because we need to develop those who are behind us, because we won't be in the position for forever. We need people to come up with us. Then we can be able to hand over and retire, and the service goes on. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I've really appreciated. I did know so much that I've learned from this meeting as well about the ACS. So yes, very empowering, very informed staff who are very confident in what they're doing and confident in answering questions. And I would say it's a reliable agency to work with. For the nurses in Kenya, I would say, for me, I would vote for UK just because I tell people, because we are not that far off. I say good night to people when I leave with a direct flight or night, and I wake them up to come and pick me up from the airport in the morning because it's only 8 hours. America is it's far. It takes you a couple of days, and Australia is beautiful weather in Australia, but then it takes you a couple of days to get home. So I campaign and vote for the UK. It's not a bed of roses. I have people, when you get to Heathrow, you're not given a broom and a bag to sweep money. But what I say is life in the UK is what you make it. Unfortunately, life in Kenya is what life makes you. But here you've got a choice of life. You can choose to stay in the house. The government will pay for your housing. They'll give you about £40 a week, which is the average pay, which is the average need for an individual. So you put your hand out every Friday to get the money. But the other thing, if you're willing to work, there's lots and lots of opportunities, and you can't sleep hungry. If you look for something, if you look for money, you definitely get money. Even if you go to a car wash, you'll come back with 30, 40 odd pounds, which is 5,000, 6,000 a day. If you're doing nursing, there's lots and lots of opportunities. There's lots and lots. We always have unfilled shifts in the organization every day. We constantly juggling stuff. So there's lots of opportunities. There's lots of extra work to do if only you're willing to work. Markets, they give you free food, which you can go and queue up for or pick up, because the food that is expiring on the day, it just gets given to people for free. There's lots of what they call food banks, which you can get free food. So life here is what you choose. You can choose to have a free life. You can choose to have a happy life and achieve what you want. So yes, I vote for UK just because it's a lovely place to be in, and I enjoy working here. Nurses, be authentic. I can't insist enough. Do not be tailored to your job description. Do a little extra and you will be rewarded. And just always be yourself and just chase your dream. It is possible. It's my final word.
Yeah, very, very possible. What I'll say is, if an opportunity comes knocking on your door, would you take it? Yes, grab it. The opportunity is here now. ACS is your opportunity. It's opening the doors for people to relocate. And as Bernice has said, yes, it's easy to get to UK. It's closer to home, yes. But also, what I have seen is that you can get to UK, and if you want to relocate later to America, you can start the process while you're still in the United Kingdom, because the process takes longer to go to the US, about 2 years. So you can start your process in the United Kingdom. And in the meantime, you're weighing your opportunities. There are so many opportunities in all worlds. It is you to follow your dream. Do not let anything stop you from following your dream. Okay, so those are my final words, and I would say thank you so much to everybody for joining us today. Thank you to Bernice for your lovely, lovely time, your lovely messages. Honestly, you've inspired me, and I'm totally, I don't know what to say. You are an inspiration to very many nurses. I am inspired. And to everybody else at ACS, thank you so much. Very knowledgeable team. They are youth. If you look at the whole team, they are young people. Thank you so much for the management for empowering these young youth people. This is what we need to be doing to empower our own. So thank you so much, and goodbye and good night. Thank you. Oh, are we off Facebook?
Yes, we are.
Jehovah, wait, my kids are hungry.
Let's keep opening the door.
I I know, even mine, I kept turning away. I had to message my husband. I'm like, please don't use the back door. Oh my goodness.
Well done, everybody. Well done.
Well done.
Well done. Thank you, Sally. Well done.
Yeah. They're hungry for